Well, I wanted to start off by saying congratulations on this brand new single. We've been playing Contorted Reality on the show now for a couple of days, and we've been getting some great feedback from everybody out there who's loving the track. So congratulations.
Oh, sweet. That's good to hear.
So, mate, tell us a little bit about this track. I know in the press release it talks about the fact that this track almost takes you on a journey musically when you're playing it. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that and how that track came into being.
I don't know. It's just one of those things. You write a song, and the guys are writing away, and it's funny how we kind of work songs. It just, I've got a process with the guys, and some of them still don't like it. It's been many, many years. I don't really like writing the lyrics until the song's finished. So I sit in with the guys, even though I'm not, a musician. Well, I'm a musician playing my vocal instrument, but I don't, I'm not a drummer, I'm not a guitarist or anything like that. And we usually, the process is writing the song first and then putting the vocals to it. Sometimes I'll get ideas and stuff like that, but inspiration for lyrics, it depends on how the song inspires me. So that's usually how it comes about, is listening to the song and then getting my inspiration from the actual song and how it's progressed.
Yeah, and when that happens, do you find yourself like listening to the music and then you start thinking about something, whether that be a past relationship or something that's out there in the world at that time? Is that how it works for you?
Yeah, pretty much for me. Like, I mean, some of the songs for the album that we did wasn't written until about 2 weeks before we actually recorded it, where I had patterns and stuff, but I just didn't have any, inspiration. Because for me, I can't just write about anything. I've got to have something that sort of really pushes me and inspires me to write. So yeah, I tend to get a bit of writer's block sometimes, and yeah, it all depends on the mood and how I'm feeling.
So what was it that inspired you for this track? What are you talking about lyrically with this track?
Sort of like, the is it what we're doing right now? Are you and I actually even speaking?
Yep.
Do we even know if this is what is really happening? I think like that all the time. I have since I was younger. And then you look into all different sort of, well, I don't really read too much. I don't absorb information from reading. But, I think about, you watch movies like The Sixth Sense was very inspiring. I remember watching that when I was younger, and right at the end, you're like, what the hell? It's that twisted turn. Is everything that's happening is real? Like, are you already dead? Is everything a dream? Is it a reality? Nobody really knows. People believe in karma and you get reincarnated, and the next minute you're a slug. Is that true? Who really knows? Like, that's where it sort of comes from. So, although you and I are talking right now, is it really happening, or is it a dream? Could I be dreaming right now? No, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
That's sort of things that, like, really intrigue me. So that's what that song really is about.
That's a pretty deep topic. Did you find the lyrics came to you quite easily once they started flowing a little bit?
Yeah, that song really wrote itself super easy. It's probably off the album, the one that I spent, this being honed a long time, especially the ending. Had many different forms of, instead of doing the clean section, it was I going to scream it more Devin Townsend like, or Phil Anselmo like, and then even the first part when I'm doing the heavy part of the outro, I was toying with ideas there, and I wasn't really happy with it. And then even in the studio, the producer and I, we worked on. He's like, "Oh, why don't you try and do it this way?" And they just evolve, and constantly evolving it, never just being happy with it and going, yeah, it's done. I'm good with that, and just leave it at that. I'm always trying to evolve it to where I'm happy with it, and I can go, yep, I'm proud of this part, and I'll leave it at that once I'm proud of it.
Awesome. Is this track a good example of what we can expect to hear on the album as well?
No way, that's not Minus Life. That's just not us. Even the producer, he goes, just when you think you know the song, he goes, you guys just have this ability to throw a curveball, and here's a 90-degree turn, and we just sort of go this way, and somehow we make it work. I don't really know. Like, I guess the way we write, I don't know. We just don't try to stick to formulas of just verse, chorus, bridge, whatever, chorus, song's done. You know, we might write, you know, someone comes up with something and it just evolves from there. It could be a verse riff, could just be any old riff or progression, whatever, and then we just build around that.
A lot of people out there are very excited about this album because they've been waiting for it for such a long time. Tell us a little bit about how this album's come together, because we've been in a pretty crazy space in the last 18 months. Was it difficult to record?
Yeah, it was. Like, the whole album, when we got back together, obviously we broke up in 2007 from memory because I'm getting old. And then we got back together, I believe we did our return show 2018, something like that. That was 3 or so years ago. We were just getting back to play again and enjoy it, and then all of a sudden we just started writing because we enjoyed it, kept writing, and then this album, we had a few ideas of where we were going to go, and then we spoke a lot with Chris from Monolith Studios, and we once we spoke to him and got to understand Chris a lot more. Like, him and I had sort of had some, you know, conversations over the years, and I said to the guys, "No, this is the guy I want to go with." And I remember the first meeting we had, which was a Zoom meeting like this one. After we got off, the guys were just like, "Wow, I'm so glad you found this guy, because he understood everything what we were trying to say. He understood it, and then he would say things without us even saying it. It felt like he knew the band." And that there, as soon as we got off the phone, everyone's like, "Yeah, this is our guy," and we knew it. And then obviously he was meant to come up and record with us, but COVID restrictions. The boys already had a plan that bass and guitar was going to be tracked, reamped. We were going to track it ourselves, reamp it, and send it to him. And then we were going to do the drums and vocals with Chris up here. And then that didn't work out. So we went with producer Nick Carpenter down at Core Studios. We've worked with him before. Super comfortable with working with him. If you don't know who he is, he used to be the ex-frontman of Devolve, which was a huge Aussie band. I'm sure you know who that was, Dave.
Yep.
And working with Nick is just, it's like working with a hippie. You know, everything's so relaxed. Everything, you go in there, it's work. You know, but it's a great casual atmosphere. So we did it all, and then we sent it down to Chris. And the beauty of what we have now, unlike when we recorded back in 2004, is, you know, we were doing live mixing. So we'd do a live meeting where he'd have us in on our earphones, and like he'd do the mix, and then we'd do like live edits, and he'd have us listening to the tracks, and then we go, "Oh, this part here," and he'd go back, he'd fix it. "What about this?" "Yep, perfect." So it was actually a really fun experience, because even though people go, "Oh, this, that, and the other," I go, "Well, I've got no idea what you're talking about." I love learning these sort of things and being involved in it. So it was a great learning process, and hearing how, because now with Trav doing all the orchestrations, like all the synths and that, I've got to understand about, you know, all the decibel levels and stuff like that, where we needed to have it, and how things sit, and how even vocally I need to start thinking about things like where moving forward, Trav and I need to work together a little bit more to get it more harmonious, which we sort of got, you know, doing with this. And as you can see, the results, all for me anyway, I remember hearing it, the final mix, when we did all the final edits, and, you know, without being, you know, I honestly shed a tear. I was that proud of it, and, you know, that happy with it, that it made me that emotional. Because as a vocalist and whatnot, I think vocalists are very emotional people, because, you know, we tend to put our hearts on our sleeve, because we're writing these lyrics that mean so much to us. Unless you're probably someone like Green Jelly, I don't think they really take their stuff serious. But I take what I write very, very serious, and it always usually has a personal meaning or a personal attachment to it.
Definitely. Now, I'm showing my age here, but I remember seeing you guys play live during the first incarnation of Minus Life. So tell us a little bit about what you guys have got planned for the future when it comes to live shows. I know we're all up in the air at the moment, but are you guys planning to get out there and do some shows? Because I'll, for one, and cannot wait to see you guys live again.
Mate, 100%. So October 9, we've got our album launch at the Mansfield Tavern, and pending no, outbreaks or anything, it'll be a standing show. We have spoken to the guys there and said, look, if it becomes a seated show, we'll probably pull the pin on it and push it back. We did a seated show when all this stuff happened, and it just isn't enjoyable.
Yeah.
People sitting down. I mean, it was funny. At one stage, the guys got in a chair and started a circle pit in their chairs. It was actually quite funny. But, you want that energy of people standing up. And then obviously it's to try and get back in a state once things open up, or where we can go and talk to promoters there and get our butts in a state, because, it's always great going away for a weekend with the boys and catching up with old friends. Unfortunately, we had Alarm coming up, which are old friends of ours that we used to tour with quite a lot back in the day. They had to cancel because of the restriction. Then Orpheus and Mega, which was Chris's band, they had to cancel too because of the restrictions, which they were really upset about, because Chris in particular, he was more upset, not just about playing, but he's like, man, I've worked with you guys on this album. It would have been so good to be there for the first show. He goes, it's sort of, it's a bit, upsetting really. But Decidia from Adelaide, great prog metal band, they're still able to come up, so fingers crossed the borders stay open for them and we can have them up for the show.
Awesome. Well, mate, I guess the big question now is that a lot of our listeners are probably wondering is, when will the album be out and where will they be able to grab a copy from?
The tough question. Pretty sure I'm allowed to say it, so I don't actually. Our manager / brother likes to keep everything under wraps. He likes to keep us not informed.
Yep.
Because, to stop things from leaking. Because, now there's processes. Like back in the day, you just do the album, put it out, who cares, there it goes, and people just turn up and buy it. But everything's changed now. And with, Spotify, with they start talking algorithms, and you've got to have this, and you've got to have everything sort of leading up, and really, but that's the promotion game. It's part and parcel of it. So there's all slow little releases, and it's like you keep teasing people. It's like give them a bite of the apple and don't give them the whole apple, so to speak. And I believe so. It's at the end of this month, but pre-orders are available now, so you can go on to our Facebook page, whatever, Bandcamp, all that sort of stuff, and you can pre-order now, and as soon as it's released, it will be sent to you. You can also buy it digitally, so if you're one of those people that don't like the hard copies, that's fine, but if not, we're doing the old digipack style. A lot of people have asked about lyric release. We will be releasing the lyrics. I want to, but you don't really do booklets anymore, but all the lyrics will be available online to everybody as well.
Awesome. Well, mate, we're going to play Contorted Reality on our show again right now. So is there anything you'd like to say to everybody out there before they take another listen, not only to this amazing track, but before they go out there and pre-order the album as well?
Yeah, look, I just thank everybody, or anybody that remembers us, and to anyone that is now probably going to be a fan, or, I don't even like really saying fan. I try to keep everybody, anyone that comes to a show, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be playing, or, we've got to feed off that energy. Get out there and support the live shows, when you can, where you can. Even if it's a sit-down event, live music needs it more than ever. Local businesses need your support, regardless whether it's music or, buying groceries. Go and see your more independent, retailers and independent artists and support them. Bands don't need to be on major labels these days in order to be supported. You guys can support them now without major labels, so start looking outside the major label realms and pick up, some local bands that way, because I think Australian especially has got a lot of strong artists. We just don't have the population or the labels behind us to push our music out to the masses. So it's up to the people to push it out for us. So if you like it, please share it, tell your friends about it, and get them all to buy it so we can cover our costs. Because I tell you now, it's not about making money, it's about at least covering some costs and keeping us going so we can hopefully get on the plane eventually and get out and see you.
Definitely, mate. And we know that bands are doing it tough at the moment because of not being able to do shows. Is there any way our listeners can support you guys at the moment? Like, is there merch or anything that they can go out and grab?
Yeah, well, they can. There's we've got shirts on there, stuff like that. We've got more coming out. You know, we're also talking about doing a limited edition vinyl release as well, because that's making its way back, which I think is really cool. So you know, there's plenty of merch online. Well, not plenty, but we've got a bit of merch online. We're not made of a lot of money. We don't have big backing, so we're all pretty much all four of us are, you know, single dads and stuff like that. So we're not like the young 20-year-olds now that can go out and drop $800 on a weekend. I don't think anyone can anyway, but you know, funds are limited, so our merch range isn't huge, but anything you can buy is much appreciated. Even just the album, that's fine. We've had people that, you know, the digital album has been $15, but they, you know, we leave it open to them, and some of them have dropped like $20, and someone bought an album instead of for $20, they bought it for $27.20 or something. Well, thanks for the extra few dollars. We really appreciate it, because it does. It all goes back into the band account, and it all gets used for band purposes.
Definitely. Well, mate, we wish you all the best of luck, and like I said, we cannot wait to see you back on a stage here in Melbourne sometime very, very soon. But congratulations on this single, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Dave, and I can't wait to get back to Melbourne. I love going down there to the Vic Market's still open with that little white van with those donuts, those jam donuts. And I love those donuts. I love donuts.